Okay, welcome to lesson 5, the lesson planner. Today we're going to learn how to create a lesson and see how that integrates. Um, so if you'll notice at the bottom, I've got nothing in these: no target, no activities, no dates, no timers set, anything like that. So this is like brand new, new class, and what we're going to do is go to planning and then click on lesson. So I created another class just to demonstrate. This was a class called History, so I have a separate set of lesson plans because it's a different course. So remember, each class will share a course with other sections of that same course. So to create a lesson plan, all you got to do is fill out the boxes. And let's just assume that we're doing a history class and we're working on um, chapter 7, and this is the first lesson in chapter 7, so I'm going to come up with a naming strategy like 7.01 or something. This is my first lesson in chapter 7. I use 01 because that way you'll see as it populates this menu, you'll see them in order. Okay, so we just need a learning target, and let's just do something brief like the presidents. And their order. Let's see if we can teach the kids who was the first president, second president, stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not a history teacher, but this might be a fun lesson. Let's put in some dates. So we're going to have a test on Friday, and we got an essay due next week on Wednesday. So you notice that you can have multiple targets. You can have multiple learning dates if you use the pipe. And the pipe is with the shift key right above the enter key on my keyboard. It's a straight up and down line. And then we've got what did I say? An essay. Essays due Wednesday. Okay, so now we need some activities. And, if you have created activities before, looks like I have, you could pick from one. I'm going to do warm-ups. That's a typical activity that I like to use. If I have created instructions before, you could just right-click over here and just bam, pull them all up. It looks like I have. That just speeds up my presentation here. So maybe this is an AP class, and every day the teacher likes to do a few SAT vocabulary words, and so that students can prepare themselves for that test coming up. Let's see. So after my warm-ups, I think I'll do, not to right click. Maybe I'll do a set of practice or flashcards. And, flashcards don't have to be for strictly memorization, right? You can use them for all kinds of things. You can use them as talking points. You can use them as writing prompts or whatever you want. So this was going to be a great introductory fun activity on, I was calling fun facts on the presidents. And let's just do one more activity. I want to do, maybe I'll just do challenge. So when we're all done with the fun facts, I could do a challenge. And let's see, challenge fun facts. Now, you could be as descriptive as you want here. You might think that's not enough space for all that I write. If you double click on this, you can see it expands so that you could see more at a time. It will scroll in there. So I do not know what the upper limit of that is, but you could put quite a lot of information. Not so much on the activities. Remember, you want your activities to be able to populate over here on the bottom of your screen. So you want them to fit, and you want them to be somewhat brief on those. So maybe I'll give this 10 minutes. We'll just go 10 minutes each. Let's say it's a half an hour long class. I don't know. Now, you might be asking, so what about these icons in here? Some activities I would let my students use their cell phones on. And maybe we could do that with the warm-ups. But then when it comes to the flashcards, or the competition, I'll say competition, no more cell phone use. When you're doing your warm-ups, maybe I will let them do that quietly. And so there's no talking. And during the flashcards, I'll let them talk in groups. But when it gets to challenge, it's only one at a time talking. Now, I can automate these so that when we get to each one of these activities, these icons at the top of the screen will change accordingly. So students know when they can use cell phones, when they can't, etc. So I'm going to automate both the phone icons and the talk icons. Now down at the bottom, we want to choose our flashcard file, and to create those, of course, is a different lesson. That is your set builder. But I've already created this. Here's my SAT vocab that I'm going to use, and then I could give it some instructions like define the words. And then for practice, let's do the presidents. And I'm going to say something like, name that president. The only thing we haven't changed now is this reflection. So when you're done actually doing the lesson, and before you go to create a new one, you might want to write down a reflection. How did the lesson go? What might you do differently? What didn't work? What did work? That kind of thing. So that's it in a nutshell. I'm going to save this now and just see what the effects are before we come back and see what it's like to create a new one. So I'm saving this, closing it, and you see immediately there's your dates, your due dates that are presented. Here's our learning target for the day, and here's the first activity. Now, if classes started, this would come up automatically, would start a timer. Since I'm recording this outside of the class time, I would just click on it, and I could start my timer. So this is the activity that we would be doing first. Actually, I must have clicked this. We want to do our warm-ups first. Warm-ups are a great way to start. So I use warm-ups in practice, and I can clear all these students and pick all new students. I can do all of them on the left, for example. This is the, I think I may have done this in the opposite order that I thought. I was going to do the SAT words as warm-ups. I think I ended up doing those as flashcards. Okay, so there's my warm-ups, and here's my flashcards. Let's do full size. And yeah, there's my SAT words. I can flip them so that the SAT word comes up first. You can see it has sequence numbers on there. I can take the sequence numbers off right here, hide the sequence numbers. I can make it sequentially or randomly. And by the way, if you have a really long, this is 270 words, if you wanted to do a little bit each day, it would remember where you left off the next day when you come in. Okay, so you see it's all, you'll say you do your lesson, you step through the flashcards, the challenge, the warm-ups, and then you come back to your lesson planner, and you may want to reflect on that before we do new. Now, when you do new, the only thing that goes away is the unit and lesson. So I'm going to come back here. We're working on, notice it populates here, a drop-down menu. I'm just going to select Chapter 7, and I'm going to choose 7.02 now. This is going to be my new lesson. And then you just, you'll have to, delete things you don't want. But the reason why all this stuff stays is because you would often find yourself repeating activities like warm-ups might be a daily activity. So you would just leave that in there, but you might want to change what you put in your description. Okay. I'm going to cancel that because I forgot to show you the effects of the icon automation here. So if I step through these um, cards, step through these activities, it's supposed to change, but it didn't. Okay, I think I realized that I just changed the lesson to the new one, which I didn't automate yet. So if I go back to the old one where I did automate these, now let's see if I can step through, and you notice that icon changed right there. I'll go to the next one and notice that one they both changed as well. So and back to warm-ups where those icons are the way they are. So you can see that the automation works great. Now, one more thing about lesson planning before we end the lesson, and that is that at some point you may have um, developed a lot of lesson plans, and you might want to export them. So you can export them. You can also import them. So what if you exported your lesson plans to provide for a fellow teacher, and that fellow teacher could then import them and have all that done? Of course, they're going to make sure that they would have to make sure that they have the same files for flashcards and practice that you do if they want to use that. And so uh, the other thing that I need to show you is that you could see not only all the activities by just clicking on this, it'll bring it all up, but you could also just view under view, you could view the entire lesson plan or like just the warm-ups. So here's just the warm-ups. You may have had a lengthy description. And so if you want to show that to your class, it's right there. If I just want to see the entire lesson plan, there it is. And so if you like to introduce your class to your lesson every day and let them know exactly what you're doing and with all the detail, this is a great way to do it. And that concludes this lesson on lesson planners. Thank you very much.